Catching up on location with Mark Urbanek, Sherpa for Tony Finau. Thanks for the time this morning.
You got it, man.
Dude, -1 opening round. Well done.
Yeah, always take anything under par out here, especially when the wind's a little gusty. Conditions weren't obviously super easy. You can tell by the scores, but yeah, always take anything under par is a good, solid start, no doubt.
For sure. And I saw you were rocking the Caddie Network logo out there for us. That was cool.
Yeah. It's on. Yeah, it's gonna be out there again today. There you go. She's under
Nice.
there.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good look, man.
Yeah,
Proud to
hey,
support the team.
for sure. You guys got a cool house going this week too. Who are you all, who's all in there with you? And I feel like I looked at the leaderboard and I was like, you guys got a good group to get some free rent action this week.
Yeah, it's Shay Knight, so Victor Hovland's caddy. We got Sam Pinfold working for Cam Smith, and Maddie Kelly working for Leishman. It's a good house, no doubt.
Yeah. Uh, all right, so let's talk about the yesterday a little bit more. Just what was the atmosphere like yesterday with the patrons being back here in the Roars?
It's awesome. Yeah, the last two times we were here, there's no fans, limited fans, that kind of thing. It's great. I mean, we had Tiger a couple groups in front of us, so the thing that's special about those noises is you could basically tell exactly what happened based on where the noise came from and how loud it was and whether it was abrupt or it was a kind of a build-up. So if you know where the pin is on 16 and you kind of hear the slow gradual roar, like you kind of know like what shot's coming in there. So yeah, it was a blast. That place is really special all the time, but when you have the full fans, it adds to the whole experience, and there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, the loudest roar I thought I heard yesterday, you were out there in person, was when Neiman holed out on 9 for Eagle. That was a
Hmm.
pretty good one. Um,
Yeah, for sure. And Tiger making the putt on 16, like a 40 footer, that was pretty loud as well.
for sure.
So
Your boy flashed some nice form last week, which is perfect timing, and he loves the Masters. I mean, he's got 3 top 10s here. Why do you think he plays so well here?
yeah, he's definitely coming. Game's coming around. It's been building for a while. His body's feeling better. Everything that he's been working on is coming around. Really in top form. But yeah, I think he plays great around here because he has a extremely high golf IQ. That was like the first thing that I noticed when I started working for him about a year and a half ago. Was like, man, this guy's brilliant when it comes to like how to attack a golf course. What are his strengths and weaknesses, and how to apply those to the golf course each day. And we have a good chat before every round about how we want to play the course that day with that wind and those pins. And um, so I think having a high golf IQ around this golf course is extremely necessary for good play. So um, I think his game, he's got great touch from distance. Obviously you need to make those 5 6 footers that are breaking from outside the hole, but great lag putters often do very well out here, and he has incredible hands. It helps tremendously. Yeah.
That's a great answer. That's interesting to hear too. And it's different than I was talking to JJ Jackvac yesterday, Colin Morikawa's caddy, and they kind of their routine's even a little bit more different. They like to fly by the seat of their pants a little bit more. Obviously, he's got a really good golf IQ as well, so it's just interesting to see the contrast and how the players do it. Um, but that makes a lot of sense because there's so much strategy out at Augusta. I talked to Brennan Little, and he was talking about how fun the majors are. Ted Scott mentioned how the walk at Augusta's, a little bit more stressful. I guess you were talking about getting the ball in the hole. Tony's good at it. Like, give me a sense of how much fun that is for you to kind of be helping him out, just navigating this golf course, getting the ball in the hole, putting it in the right spots and stuff.
Yeah, it's really fun at the end of the day, and you look back at it. But during the round, yeah, the smiles are kind of like hard to find in between. It's just there's not one shot on the course where you're not, I don't want to say stressed, but you're definitely giving it your full attention. Like even like a layup off the third tee. I mean, if you're not hitting driver, like you want to hit it far enough where you kind of see the green, but not too far where you bring the bunkers into play. Or I mean, some guys might choose to do that to get it to the top of the hill, but it's just then the wind is kind of swirling. You got to make sure you get it just right. So it's a situation where yeah, it's a blast. There's nowhere I'd rather be. It's the best tournament of the year. But at the same time, it has your full attention for every single second you're walking around. So, you'll see a few guys smiling, but I promise you they're thinking about the next shot or the next couple shots of what's coming
Right.
up and just making sure they're on top of everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, yesterday there was a little bit of a curveball, and that west wind showed up, and I think we're going to see it today, tomorrow as
Mm.
well. I guess. Did you observe anything? Seeing the golf course in that west wind. Maybe you'd seen it in prior years, but did you observe anything that you can apply out there today?
Yeah, I mean, well, I could right off the bat, holes like 2 and 10 play a little bit easier because they're hard right to left wind holes. Those will help guys that don't generally draw it easily. So that helps, but at the same time, you get 13 where it's whipping left to right. So T-ball becomes much harder for guys to draw it hard enough. So it's just for guys that aren't natural drawers of the ball, the T-ball in 13 becomes very difficult. So much harder for guys to get a good look at that green. But yeah, and then you got second shot on 13 and 15 playing into the wind. So much harder to be aggressive there. You'll see a lot more layups than normal on those
Mm-hmm.
particular holes. So T-ball on 18, with some left to right wind isn't a big deal. It kind of fits the hole nicely, but it was blowing so hard yesterday. If you just didn't hit it right on the button, you're going to have the ball sailing into the woods on the right. So Tony hit a great tee ball yesterday, and we were able to, take advantage and get a good look at it. But I mean, the hole was playing extremely difficult, hitting down that chute with the blowing 25 miles an hour straight across. So I
Yeah.
think you'll see that again today, based on what the forecast is. Maybe even a little more hurt off the tee shot. So yeah, I mean, you have to hit a really good one right on the button.
Yeah, that's interesting. Brian Mull from the Caddie Network was talking about that, how difficult that tee shot's going to be this week for guys that like to cut the ball. And then you talked about two earlier. Your boy, who's a cutter, hit the sickest little like low BB draw around the corner there
Mm.
off two yesterday. That was so money. Well, let's talk about some of the pins out there today. Is there any
Yep.
that stood out to you as kind of really challenging going into the day? Maybe one on the front, one on the back, or something like that. Whatever stands out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, right off the bat, number one in the front left. I mean, it's just like the first hole is brutal under the best conditions. And now today you're going to have it in off the left, off the tee. A lot of guys forced into hitting driver there so they don't have a crazy long iron in. Where they generally might hit 3 wood and take the bunker out of play. So I think you'll see more guys challenging the bunker just to kind of try and get a slightly shorter club in. The front left pin, the bunker short and left is it's okay if you get a good lie. You're kind of hitting up against the hill there, but the bunkers here are a little bit they're not perfect kind of by design, so the ball tends to doesn't spin quite as much. So that bunkers can be trouble, and so the generally you're going to see guys that hit the green are going to try and throw it a few yards past it, but that leaves a putt, which is nice for birdie, but you're just going to see an absolute lightning quick putt straight down the hill there. So
Right.
even with two perfect shots, you're left with a super fast putt that you're just trying to just lag it down there. So that's a brutal one right off the bat. I mean, you'd be thrilled with four and getting out of there. I would say number two, it's going to be some action, but number three with a newer surface, it's kind of a benign looking pin, kind of in the front center, but like the wind's going to be hard in off the left on the second shot for guys that lay up. You're just trying to with the newer surface, it's a little bit harder to gauge that first hop. So you're
Mm,
often going to be left with something above the hole there, having
hmm.
to putt down the hill again. So where those front pins are, it's tough. I mean, you come up short, you have very difficult chips, so you're going to try and throw it past it. You can't spin it as much on the newer surface, so you're going to see a lot of downhill putts and guys just happy to get out of there with pars.
Yeah, four is always difficult, but I saw five, like, which you're getting some help there this year,
Mm.
but it's just right over that buried elephant. I mean, it's just so hard to get it close there.
Yeah, you don't mind your chances from the back bunker to that pin. At least it's kind of coming back hill. back uphill all the way to the hole. So, not easy to get the bunker shot close, but at least you're going to have, you should have something inside 10 feet up the hill for par.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds weird saying it on a par four, but like the putts from the front there, from anywhere to that pin are really tough to get down into. So a great shot's going to land pin high and release, 10 to 20 feet and putt back up the hill. So you're
Mm-hmm.
coming in with a 5 iron, or I guess today we'll have it kind of a little bit more downwind on the second shot. So it might be 7 or 8 iron, but still something that you'll be happy with 20 feet behind the hole, which is rare on tour, as you know,
Right.
where long is
Uh,
better.
is there a little nuance on the eighth hole today? I noticed it was like 25 on and 5 off the right. There's like a little brow on the right hand side there. Is there an
Hmm.
angle that you have to make sure you get on eight today?
Yeah, so with a good drive, I mean, the guys are going to be sending it up there. If you it doesn't seem like a crazy pin, but left, if you challenge it to get the best angle, you're going to be a little left of the hole, but you have trees, 15 to 20 yards short that are going to, if you clip any part of that, they drop down and left often and leave you with, kind of a lucky to have a shot sort of situation. So you'll see guys that miss it are going to miss it right because there's 40 yards of fairway over there, but then you're going to have to be chipping up over a knob or a couple different knobs depending on your angle where the ball kind of running away. So it's two good shots will make it a good birdie hole, but anything other than perfection is going to leave difficult to get a good birdie look.
One more, we'll get you out of here. I mean, everybody's talking about the 11th hole this week, and yesterday they gave you a little. I mean, if you missed it right yesterday, it wasn't easy, but you could still kind of get it up and down. They got it really
Mm-hmm.
jammed up in the front there today.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 11th hole, made some nice changes to the hole. I mean, it's always been great, but I think they made it a little bit better now. It's a little more requiring a little more precision. Like you said, the I don't call it really a bailout because it's really a good shot to hit the right side over there. But yesterday, yeah, exactly. Had more green to work with, even though it's running away. It's still very doable today. Anything right of the green is going to leave a very difficult chip. Kind of had two really good shots. Probably try and land it, just on that front right corner and have it kind of just trickle down. But yeah, I mean, especially with the wet fairways, it collects a little more debris on the ball. Um, the precision is even more difficult going downhill. The ball's in the air for a while, even on a flighted shot. It wins in off the right. It's all you want,
Yeah.
no doubt.
For sure. Yeah. But with your guy being a cutter, I think that should help you guys there with the wind coming off the right. So, well, hey, thanks for taking a little time out this morning. Great job yesterday. Keep up the good work today. We'll be following you out there, and all the best.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you.